Ow!
It's the final suit of the tarot. This is where it all comes together. We've been through the archetypes of the trumps, the fiery will and desire of the wands, the emotional watery depths of the cups, and the airy and intellectual world of the swords. Now we're coming back home to solid terra firma in the earthly and manifest world of pentacles. In the key to the tarot, Arthur Waite says a hand issuing as usual from a cloud holds up a pentacle. Some real depth to that description from Waite, he just couldn't get enough of this one. Anyway, this is the only ace in the deck that doesn't have yods cascading from the sign of the suit. All the other aces have got the Hebrew letter in various forms on the card, but not the pentacles. This is to illustrate that the other suits are divine in origin compared to the physical reality of the pentacles. However, it's important to bear in mind that doesn't make this suit any less magical. Rachel Pollack says, on this ace alone we see no yods falling from heaven. The earth in its completeness and solid reality bears its own magic. Now we need to make some distinction here between the Waite-Smith and the other tarot decks like the Marseille and Sforza. In most cases this suit is referred to as coins, as they were generally taken as a symbol of money and finances. Waite says, I have not invented the substitute of pentacles and I have no special cause to sustain in respect of the alternative. But the consensus of divinatory meanings is on the side of some change, because the cards do not happen to deal especially with questions of money. So this isn't to say that the pentacles don't include money at all, but in the Waite-Smith deck we're going with pentacles because the element of earth encompasses so much more than just financial concepts. It makes up everything that we experience from the moment we open our eyes for the first time. Also, this isn't to say that it only refers to the earth itself. The element includes the whole universe and everything that's manifested within it, including us. That's why the version of the world card in the Thoth tarot is called the universe. Rachel Pollack says in its earlier form of coins, pentacles stood primarily for materialism in the narrow sense of money and work. The rider pack, however, adds the greater dimension of nature to the fourth suit. We ground ourselves not just in our work, but in a love for the world around us. It can be easy to look at the element of earth as somehow less spiritual than the other elements because we live in it. It's difficult to see the magic when we're constantly surrounded by it, but make no mistake, the miracle of creation is always there, in everything from the stars in the sky to the elastic in your underpants. Professor Brian Cox once said, when we look out into space, we are looking at our own origins, because we are truly children of the stars. Now, if that's not magical, then I don't know what is. We've got a very flamboyant card in the Thoth deck for this one, a golden coin surrounded by angels' wings. Now we talked earlier about how Waite decided to go with pentacles instead of coins for this suit, but then Crowley mixed it up even more by calling them discs. The good news is that despite occultists refusing to settle on a common symbol, the meaning remains the same. He says the Ace of Discs pictures the entry of that type of energy which is called Earth. Now in the Book of Thoth, Crowley goes on to talk about the importance of the element of Earth, and to throw shade at some other tarot commentators. Among these he mentions the grotesque barber Aliette and the obscurely perverse Worth. Ooh, shots fired. So he's referring to Oswald Worth, who created a tarot deck based on the Tarot de Marseille, and Jean-Baptiste Aliette, known better to you and me as Etaila. Yes, he, the purveyor of mystical fortune-telling codswallop who we enjoy every week. We'll be getting to his take on the ace later, but for now, Crowley goes on to say, about this whirling disc are its 6 wings. The entire symbol is not only a glyph of Earth as understood in this new aeon of Horus, but of the number 6, the number of the sun. If we look closely at the disc on the card, we can see the words to Megatherion, which is Greek for the Great Beast. We've also got 666 written on the 3 circles at the very centre of the disc. Now before anyone starts freaking out and saying that Crowley was the Antichrist, we need to remember that the Great Beast was a nickname his mother gave him for being a very naughty boy. Also the number 6 in this case refers to Tiferet on the Tree of Life, which is the Sephira of the Sun. Besides, if he was the Antichrist, then he didn't do a very good job of causing Armageddon. I'm no expert on the apocalypse, but we do all seem to still be here.
What the hell happened? You were supposed to bring about the end of days.
Sorry, I was far too busy climbing mountains and getting wasted. Lomala Duquette says Lady Harris gives the ultimate coin of the realm, centred upon money green layers of vegetal embellishments that historically have adorned the world's paper currency. The Sforza Marseille cards kick off the suit of coins by giving us exactly what we'd expect, a big old coin with some pretty flowers. The Solabusca card sees the return of the cherubs. The one on the left looks a little bit fed up, but the middle one is hefting a coin of gargantuan proportions. We've got some Latin words on the coin that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, but they translate to serve. If you persist, you obtain in the end. The number 1 of the coin indicates a complete reward of assets, which plunge us into the most perfect contentment. Ooh, well I'm liking the sound of that. The coins have started in earnest. But let us bear in mind that it is from gold that this beauty is born. Let us elevate our souls above such perishable goods in order to enjoy even greater and more lasting happiness. Yeah, can we just have a little bit of the gold and perishable goods before we elevate our souls? Absolutely not. It's disgusting. Maybe we should try some of the perishable goods just so we can see how disgusting they are, and then we can warn others. Forget it. We're elevating our souls. Why do you want to elevate our souls?
The Hermetic title for the Ace of Pentacles is Root of the Powers of Earth.
So this is where we find the basis of the element of earth. All the aces in the tarot represent the root of their element, so we can think of that as the potential of each suit before it's manifested into anything. In this sense, they're neither good nor bad, as they signify all possibilities and potential outcomes. Now, if we look at the bottom of the card, we can see a garden. This is a symbol of how humanity cultivates the earth and turns it into something that we'd like to live in. We can also see an archway leading out into the wilderness. Rachel Pollack likens this to the wreath that we see around the dancer on the world card back at number 21 in the trumps, while the wilderness represents the wider world of creation. She says spiritual work leads us to recognize the magic in normal things, in both nature and civilization, and then to go beyond them to the greater knowledge symbolized by the mountains.
The Ace of Pentacles takes up the 90 degrees of the zodiac wheel that incorporates Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. Taurus sits in the centre as the fixed sign to correspond with Earth, the element attributed to Pentacles.
So we've got our 3 star signs, just as we do for all the aces. I've talked before about how the other cards in the tarot represent units of time, while the aces and pages rule over quadrants of space. In this case, that quadrant covers the North Pole and the area of Europe and Africa. Of course, the card is most closely related to the Earth zodiac sign, but all 3 still fit with the Ace of Pentacles in terms of new beginnings. They just approach that idea from different directions. Aries brings that fiery energy and desire, Taurus brings the earthly grounding and persistence, while Gemini brings the airy intellect and communication skills into the mix. All these signs align well with the idea of starting something new, and maybe creating something in the manifest world.
The Ace of Pentacles resides in the world of Asya and sits at the highest Sephira of Keter, at the very top of the Pillar of Mildness.
We've made it to the realm of Ossiar, the world of action. This is where all the influences of the other worlds combine to become something solid and tangible. I've talked about this before, but as a quick reminder, we started in Absolute with the Suit of Wands. This is the world of emanation. If you've ever felt the desire to create something, whether that's a piece of art or a sausage sandwich, then you're in the fiery world of Absolute. Next we journey to Briar, the world of creation, with the Suit of Cups. This is where we start to figure out what is actually going to fulfill the desire we felt in Absolute. The paint colours, the brushes, the easel, or if we're making a sandwich, the kind of bread. Do we want ketchup or barbecue sauce? Now we've got a desire and an idea. Next we came upon Yetzirah, the world of formation, with the Suit of Swords. This is the land of thought and intellect, so this is where we actually imagine our creation and see it in our mind's eye. When he was asked about how he created his sculptures, Michelangelo once said, "The sculpture is already complete within the marble block before I start my work. It's already there, I just have to chisel away all the superfluous material." He could see the sculpture in the world of Yetzirah, and then he just got rid of all the rest of the marble around it, and there it was for all to enjoy. Finally, we get to where we are now, Ossiar, the world of action. This is where we take all of that energy from the other worlds, roll up our sleeves, and crack on with turning it into a reality. It's something you can either eat or hang on your wall, depending on your fancy or how weird you are. Now, all of the aces live in Keter, the crown. This is the Sephira of divine potential, so it fits perfectly with the aces of each suit. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa said, "The first of these is the name Yeh, the name of the divine essence. His numeration is called Keter, which is interpreted a crown or diadem, and signifieth the most simple essence of the divinity."
The Ace of Pentacles herb is whole grains. As well as keeping you regular, whole grains can also be combined with parsley to help you conceive.
Conceive what?
Oh, never mind.
But what does it all mean?
The Ace of Pentacles is a card of everything coming together in the physical and material aspects of life. It's a great card in so many different ways. Waite says perfect contentment, felicity, ecstasy, also speedy intelligence, gold. That felicity gets about, doesn't she? And not just intelligence, but speedy intelligence. So as with all the aces, new beginnings are an important element of this card. I've talked about how this suit doesn't just relate to money, but it is still a big part of the Pentacles, so new financial beginnings fit really well. Whether that's a new job, some kind of business opportunity, or a sudden windfall. I certainly wouldn't say no to one of those. As we're in the Suit of Earth, that also includes our physical bodies, so it can signify recovering from an illness or going on a bit of a health kick. Maybe deciding to shed a few pounds and do some exercise, you know, like we do every January. This card can be telling you not to wait until after Christmas. Join the gym right now and hit the treadmill. A new creative endeavour is another important aspect. Now's the time to dust off the piano and write that killer tune that's going to outsell Taylor Swift and the Beatles combined. Just like all the other aces, we're also talking about new relationships, and in this case we're referring to the physical aspects of that. So you might want to buy yourself some new Y-fronts and book yourself in for a waxing. It can also mean the practical aspects of being with someone, like maybe moving in with your partner, or if you already live together, you can be making joint financial decisions and making a happy home together. However, I think the overarching theme of this card is seeing the magic in the mundane and the ordinary world around us, being grateful for what we have and for the people in our lives. Rachel Pollack says the gift of earth, nature, wealth, security, a joyful life.
Next to cards which are not favourable, this will change their faulty predictions if not cancel them entirely.
Well, there you go. No matter how bad your reading is, if this one comes up, you're in the clear. When the Ace of Pentacles appears reversed, it can mean an overemphasis on material wealth. Waite says reversed, the evil side of wealth, bad intelligence, also great riches. In any case, it shews prosperity, comfortable material conditions, but whether these are of advantage to the possessor will depend on whether the card is reversed or not. So I think Waite's saying that the upside down card still signifies material abundance, but he's referring to the darker side of that. Greed would be the concept here, pursuing money and extravagance for its own sake, rather than how we could use our wealth to help others. Rachel Pollack says because material gifts exist in a way that other aces do not, they are more open to abuse. The Ace of Pentacles reversed can signify all the ways in which wealth corrupts people: selfishness, extreme competition, mistrust, overdependence on security and comfort.
In the reverse, this card predicts that you will play the leading role in finding treasure or finding a well-stuffed purse or something of high value.
My uncle always said that the real treasure is inside us.
What a wonderful thing to say.
Not really. He sold organs on the black market. The big takeaway for the Ace of Pentacles is prosperity, new beginnings, and seeing the magic in the everyday world around us. I'm going to give you another quote from Brian Cox to finish because he sums it up perfectly. He says, "We are the cosmos made conscious. Life is the means by which the universe understands itself. And for me, our true significance lies in our ability to understand and explore this beautiful universe."
We've made it all the way to the final suit, which inevitably means even more hapless antics here at Kippy Towers. May the coming days bring you contentment and perfection. Until next time.